Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Julie Chrisley shares her main focus while in prison. Julie Chrisley has revealed what her main focus was while she was locked up in prison. Fans have been wondering if she was focused on her children, getting out, Todd, or what she was mainly worried about while she was behind bars. Well, she has shared what her priority was and what she felt the worst about while doing her time. There is a lot to unfold and uncover when it comes to this. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Julie Chrisley gets out of prison, but has PTSD. Julie Chrisley was locked up for over 2 years in federal prison. This was for tax evasion and fraud. Todd Chrisley was also locked up at the same time. However, Donald Trump chose to pardon both of them. During this time, Savannah Chrisley had to take custody of her younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. The prison time hit Julie much harder than it did Todd. Savannah has even said that she sees more trauma in her mother than in her father. This was a hard time for the entire family. She shares what her main focus was in prison. Julie Chrisley has shared that her main focus while in prison was her children. This does not shock fans, as she has always been a good mother. This does not shock anyone. However, they do feel bad for Julie, as they could not imagine being away from their kids for this long. It seems as though Julie Chrisley's main focus during her time away was her children. This is not shocking to hear, as her children are her world. She knew Chase and Savannah were going to have to step up and be parents when they were more than likely not ready for that. This is something that would be hard on any parent. However, some do not feel bad for her as they think she deserved it. Inside the concrete walls of FMC Lexington, Kentucky, where days blend into each other and the future often feels like a distant dream, Julie Chrisley has found something unexpected: clarity. While the world may view her as a fallen reality TV star, a convicted felon, and one half of a once glamorous couple who preached family values and lived lavishly, Julie sees herself now as something much simpler, and in many ways, stronger. "My main focus isn't on what I've lost," Julie reportedly told a fellow inmate during a quiet moment in the prison library. "It's on what I can build within myself." That revelation has shaped every aspect of Julie's daily life behind bars. Gone are the days of designer handbags and curated Instagram posts. Now her days are marked by routine, humility, and deep introspection. While her husband Todd, serving time at FPC Pensacola, keeps his charisma high and his voice booming with bravado, Julie has taken a quieter path, one paved with personal growth, faith, and purpose. Spiritual awakening in the cafeteria. It all started with a conversation over a tray of surprisingly bland lasagna. A fellow inmate mentioned a small prayer circle that met every morning before work duties. Julie hesitated at first. She had always been a woman of faith, but prison had shaken her sense of spiritual grounding. Still, something pulled at her heart, and the next morning she showed up. That circle, once just a cluster of women holding hands before their day began, has become her sanctuary. Julie now leads those morning prayers. She brings devotionals, writes reflections, and even started journaling daily, something she never had time for in her pre-prison life. She's begun counseling others, helping them find faith and forgiveness in places they never expected. "This place can break you, but it can also reveal who you really are," she wrote in one of her journal entries that a visitor later shared. "And I want to be someone who uplifts." Julie the mentor. Word spread quickly that Julie Chrisley wasn't just another inmate. Her calm demeanor and soft Southern voice made her approachable, and soon enough, younger women, some of whom had no family, no visitors, no hope, began gravitating toward her. Julie didn't push them away. Instead, she embraced the role of mentor, organizing small discussion groups about motherhood, resilience, and dealing with guilt. Though she rarely spoke about her own case, when she did, she focused not on denying her actions, but on the lessons she's learned about choices and consequences. "I'm not here to pretend I'm innocent. I'm here to be better. For my children, for myself, for God." Her words rang with sincerity, and even some of the toughest women in the prison softened in her presence. Julie's focus wasn't just about serving her time, it was about using it meaningfully. Letters to the outside. Julie has also taken to writing letters, long, thoughtful messages to her children. Savannah, Grayson, Chase, and even Todd Jr., while she used to send quick texts or leave notes in the kitchen at their Nashville mansion, she now crafts handwritten letters filled with life advice, spiritual guidance, and motherly love. She writes to Savannah about strength and responsibility. She tells Grayson to stay grounded and to learn from every mistake, not just cover them up. She sends Chase verses from the Bible and urges him to dig deeper into who he wants to be, outside of fame and fortune. "My main focus is them," she admitted during a prison therapy session. "Not how they see me today, but who I can be for them in the future." Some of the letters have made their way into public hands, and fans of Chrisley knows best have been touched by their raw emotion. Julie's vulnerability is evident. She's no longer the polished matriarch of reality TV. She's a mother in mourning, mourning the years lost, but determined not to lose her sense of self. A new purpose behind bars. Julie has also embraced educational programs within the prison system. She's enrolled in courses focused on addiction counseling and trauma-informed care. She said she wants to work with women like those she's met inside, women whose lives were derailed by pain, poverty, or poor decisions. "I want to be part of someone's turning point," she told a prison staff member. Not just a cautionary tale. There's talk of her helping develop a mentorship program for incoming inmates, particularly first-time offenders. Julie believes that the first month is the most crucial, that it's when despair is deepest, and hope feels like a luxury. She wants to be there when someone arrives, wide-eyed and shaking, to say, "You can survive this, and you can grow." Faith, forgiveness, and the long road ahead. Of course, there are hard days. Days when she cries alone in her cell. Days when the ache of missing birthdays and holidays hits her so hard it's hard to breathe. But even in those moments, Julie clings to her faith. Her Bible, now worn and dog-eared, stays under her pillow. She underlines verses and writes prayers in the margins. She's not praying for release, she's praying for renewal. When Savannah visited most recently, she described her mother as serene, softer but stronger. Julie held her daughter's hand through the glass and told her, "I don't want you to wait for the old me. I'm becoming someone better." And that truly is Julie Chrisley's main focus in prison. Not the appeal, not the fame, not even vindication. It's transformation. The final note. In one of her latest letters to Todd, she wrote, "We walked into this storm together, and now we walk separate paths toward the same light. I pray every night that the people we were when this started are not the people we are when it ends. I choose to grow. I choose grace. I choose to live a life of purpose, even in this place." For a woman whose life once centered around perfect appearances and curated perfection, Julie Chrisley is now focused on something far more powerful: redemption.